right, so we told you that it was going to boil down to Jake, man. That a lot of this was going to fall back on the tribe's head. Now we see in the vision, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom Labakarian, Shal Yash Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect, or peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Now this is an image that was obviously sketched out, you know, of that alleged stabbing on that train. You know, this was the guy, you know, with the hoodie on and the dreads. You see him looking like the devil, you know, or somebody really evil back there. And watch how they have her. So they pushing Esau, you know, as the angels are not leopards, okay? The angels are dark-skinned men, dark-skinned entities, spiritual, celestial entities, okay? You know, this all goes back to the Roman Catholic and Christian church, where they set up the so-called white man and white woman as the angels. So, but they're pushing this. They're pushing this because the agenda is going to be pushed for the attack on Jake, which is coming to pass, you know, Jacob's trouble, like we've been telling you. Now, this is from off of Redacted. This is Clay here. And he's going to say a few words, you know, because everybody's paranoid, you know. The fear, yeah, the fear is on. The fear is on. You know, this is the time we telling you be prepared. You know, the walls are going to collapse, and it's going to be something brutal. So time is short. I mean, everybody, you can smell it in the air, feel it, whatever. I don't even know I was going somewhere, it just slipped my mind. But let's just start with this here. This is Jeremiah. Because a lot of people like to doubt this scripture. Oh, this ain't going to happen. Jacob always been in trouble. But this is when you read this whole chapter, this is a futuristic prophecy chapter here. You know, it goes into, you know, our salvation, go right to chapter 31, to the saving, you know. So this is predicted to happen in the near future, Jacob's trouble. It says, this is Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great. We got a great day that's coming, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, and we've been warning you about this day of doom that's coming. And all these events going to lead back to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And now we seeing it come to pass. Get ready.
That you know it, I'm feeling it, and I just wanted to sit down and talk about it. I think this country has changed. Something big is coming. I know that you know it, I'm feeling it, and I just wanted to sit down and talk about it. I think this country has changed forever in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Oh, you
because
see, that's the best thing about these prophecies. When you hear these people talk about a change is coming, something big, they have no clue how big a change is coming. You know, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning. This ain't going to just heal itself and go back to the normal stage of America and the economy's doing well and a white man stays on top. You got no clue what's about to happen. But we do.
Don't understand how this has affected an entire generation of young Americans, then you are out of touch. But I think what we're seeing is something so large that we can't even wrap our heads around what happened. The time for tolerance is over, and I think you're going to see a major shift across this country. I just want to come in and just say a few words about it in the wake of what
and by the way,
Kirk had to say.
And Slocky for cutting in. Jacob's trouble means it's Esau's trouble. It's Ammon's trouble. It's Moab trouble. You know, everybody is about to be judged. So when we speak on Jacob, yeah, you tribes gonna go through it, but you know, this world is held up by Jake, by you so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians. So once we get shaken like this, you know, Babylon shakes as well as the rest of the nations. This is Revelations 18:1. It says, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. So Jacob's trouble is leading to this, the falling of Babylon. This is America here. Is fallen, and it's become the habitation of devils. This is the aftermath of the destruction of the bombs. Nothing left here. And a hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations, see, all nations, when Jacob trouble come in, when this civil war start, and they do start laying their hands on the tribes, and the race wars commence to happen, because it's going to happen. Oh yeah, everything is going to flip. But yes, you so-called blacks and Hispanics will be the target. You will be the target, because that's the Lord hunting you down for the final punishment. But everything is going to flip out. It says, Babylon is fallen and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So they all been eaten off the back of America, and America stands on the back of the 12 tribes of Israel. We built this place. We keep this place afloat. So when the Lord collapses, you know, Israel, Jacob's trouble is brought in, you can say goodbye to Babylon. This is the final judgment. Jacob's trouble is wrapped up, which is ultimately going to lead to this mark of the beast, this implantation of this microchip, man. Because they want to chip these tribes. They ultimately want to chip the chosen people, the elect amongst the tribes, but you don't get them. You don't get them. You know, you can go get the 2/3 of our people. You're going to get the rest of the heathen, because they're going to want to eat. They're going to want to continue to buy and sell. And these low-level so-called white folks running around with their damn 9mm. They're going to get chipped too. But ultimately, the Lord going to do this. For all nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So everybody's eating. Everybody's in bed with Babylon. I don't care what country. You hang on to this damn dollar, man. And the number one consumers in this country is you so-called blacks and Hispanics. You tribes, man. But everything is coming to an end. It's coming to a halt. It says, for the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich. And this is how they got rich. You've been eating with this white man. Y'all came in on that 14th and 13th Amendment. You made America your home. You made this your place. You gave up your social clubs and your religion and your life in your country, and you came here to live. But ultimately, you came here to lick the wounds of the poor man, which is the Israelites in the ghettos. You're making your money off Jake, off the so-called Negroes and Hispanics. And now you got to pay. Now you're going to fall with Babylon. It says, and wax rich through her abundance of her delicacy. You know, now the time of living delicate and lavish with the dainty things is over. And everybody's screaming. Everybody, I feel it in the air. I feel that. But you got no clue what's looming in the air.
So I can't believe that she was able to come out and give a speech.
This is his wife, you know, the guy that was assassinated, you know, and watch the statement that she makes.
Charlie's legacy, the future of Turning Points, and they're going to continue on with their mission. That this is spiritual warfare.
She said this is spiritual.
Joining me now is a young man who dropped out of Harvard and developed the Dub Act.
She said, but she said something in an interview separately about the evildoer television. So I can't believe that she was able to come out and give a speech and talk about Charlie's legacy, the future of Turning Points, and they're going to continue on with their mission. That this is spiritual warfare, she said. But she said something in an interview separately about the evildoers. And I just want to quote her directly.
And you see who they got as the face of evil. They got you, Jake.
Evildoers should all know this. If you thought my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. She said, you have no idea what you have just unleashed across this entire country and this world. And I don't think she's being hyperbolic at all. I think she is spot on 100%. Now, maybe you and I can share some anecdotes here. I would love to hear your comments below, just in your neighborhood, just talking to family and friends, or just discussions you've had over dinner. Share them below, because I can tell you, even if it's just anecdotally, I'm hearing from conservatives, I'm hearing from friends all over the country who have had enough. They are fed up. So this being unleashed, this idea of being unleashed, it's about tolerance. And I think this is a moment, and I can feel it. I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about it. I am sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of people like us who just want a better country. I'm sick and tired of us being pushed around, talked down to, treated as if we're some sort of fascists or Nazis or, illiberal, intolerant wretches. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, everybody tired,
and
man.
I'm angry about it.
Everybody tired. This earth needs a cleansing. It's about that time. So the action's gonna start. You hear the statement. So you don't know if this whole thing was a setup. He was a sacrifice. A live assassination. For the public. She could have been involved. This thing runs deep, man. This is Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, I'm gonna read this because you need to know what's going on. You Edomites are in authority right now, okay? And that's why the earth is mourning. That's why we at this tipping point, because this is prophecy. When you read in Daniel's the 2nd chapter, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream, about rulership, and the first one was his. But the last rulership on that statue he saw was the toes of the statue. And part of it was iron and part of it was clay. Those toes is the EU and NATO. And that's the time we in now. And that statue ends by a chariot, which as a UFO, coming and knocking those rulerships down. And that's what's happening right now. Yahushua is on his way. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, to deal with the ending rulership of you Gentiles. See, we had to be trodden down until the time of the Gentiles came to a full end. Now we at the end of all you other nations ruling earth and ruling us. And this is the day of freedom. This is the day that all the prophets been looking for. So the Lord is establishing righteousness in the earth when his son gets back. But it looks like this when it's ending. There's no nice ending to Esau's kingdom. The Lord said the saints, matter of fact, let me get that. The Lord said the saints shall take the kingdom. That's by force. So when the elites hear about, these ships and UFOs in the air, they're getting scared because they know Yahushua is playing no games with them. But they also looking at the action on planet Earth. They're looking at the minds of the people, because people are waking up. That's how they're going to shut down this internet. And they don't want people talking to each other. Because the Lord tell you in Isaiah, I think it's 25:7, it says he was going to take off the veil that was cast on, just paraphrasing, that was cast over the people in this mountain, in this government. So this is the time of great revealing. Everything is coming out. These devils are panicking. That's how they're going to shut down its internet system, or they're going to it's going to be heavy censorship on this, what you can say and what you can't say. This is Daniel 7 verse 18. But the saints of the Most High, who are the saints? Psalms 148 and 14. The saints are the Israelites. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. That's through spiritual power. That's not through marching and militias. Because we're not taking Babylon. Babylon is going to fall. So when they take the kingdom, that means rulership. That's what that statue falling was all about. That stone coming and taking rulership. What's that? 1 Corinthians 15. All nations, all rulership is about to be put under Yahushua's foot. This is what's a changing of worlds is what you're seeing. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess. Is going to belong to Yahushua and his elect. They're about to possess the world. That's what's happening. The world will get a cleansing. The water will be clean, the air. But you got to go through this final war. You got to go through this because Esau ain't trying to give up this rulership. So yes, it looks like this aggressive nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's what we witnessing. A kingdom fighting against itself. And it's happening in other countries, France, over there in the Middle East, over there in Asia. All these kingdoms are shaking up right now. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom, the rulership, man. This is all about rulership, the birthright and the blessings given to Jacob and given to his 12 sons. Now the birthright is about to click in full effect. The second covenant is being established and these devils are scared. But the spirits are acting up out here because this is all spiritual. That's why she said, what Kirk White said, she said, this is a spiritual war. She said that. So she knows spiritually Esau and Jacob go in for that final bout, that final throwdown. But it's going to be through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua we fight. We don't fight with guns and weapons. They're going to use jets and AI and robots. We rolling through the spiritual world. We fight with our prayers. And Yahushua going to take care of the rest. It ain't even going to be a fight when you read about it in Revelations 18. In 1 hour, Babylon fell. That's not even a fight. But yeah, it's going to look scary because the things you're comfortable with, the things you're used to, you got to get out of this Babylonian mind frame right now. Yeah, it's time to be uncomfortable. This ain't the time to be comfortable. It says, possess the kingdom forever and ever and ever. So there's no more rulerships when you read it in Daniel's, the 2nd chapter. So if you want to know, Clay, what's going on with the earth, you better get with the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Go into the prophecies. You're in the final rulership of this kingdom. America is the kingdom that's been established through prophecy in the Bible. And we know how this place ends. This is not just a random act of the white man's authority and something out of his mind. The white man got his authority and power from Yahweh and his son Yahushua. Now the Lord is taking his power out of you so-called white men's hand and putting the power in his son Yahushua and the 144,000 and the rest of the elect of the nation of Israel. That's what's happening right now.
Father Calvin Robinson on the show the other day about this, and he said the time for tolerance is over. Father Robinson. And I said, Father, I'm feeling that too. Is that okay? Is that okay to say enough? Enough of just like sitting back with our arms crossed, sitting back and allowing people to talk down to us. Oh, you don't want to get the COVID shot? Well, you must be some sort of a fascist anti-vaxxer. Oh, you don't want trans ideology in your school. You're so intolerant. Where's the love in your heart? Oh, you don't want this individual who's been arrested 14 times to just be able to walk free. Where is your compassion? I'm sick of it. And I think what you're seeing now over the past 48 hours is the tolerance is evaporating. And all of the men and all of the conservative women
about to hit the breaking point. This is the breaking point. You're going to see it's up to the Lord when the Lord allowed this thing to spin totally out of control, because that's what's happening. And the more that people go broke and lose their job and they sitting around with a bottle of whiskey, ain't got nothing to do, and they looking at TikTok and these videos, the anger's going to ball up and it's going to be right on the head of you so-called Negroes and Hispanics. And they don't know the Lord going to put the spirit on Judah, and Judah going to flip. Judah going to flip, and the rest of the tribes going to follow. Therefore, you have your race wars. You have your race wars, which then is going to lead into a civil war. You're going to have certain whites fighting with the blacks. in the name of being a Democrat. It's a mess. It's a mess now, and it's going to be a mess. That's why we aligning ourselves with Yahushua and his son, because we're going to need help from the heavens. Because these people outnumber us, man. You know, you look around you right now, ain't nobody around you within maybe, unless the brotherhood live next to you, within miles, 50, 60 miles, calling on the name of Yahweh and Yahushua, and the Lord is listening. So all we got is this Heavenly Father at this point when these people flip out. This is Matthew 24 and 12, because iniquity, right, shall abound. The love of many shall wax cold. And the love, as you can see, people unhad it. People unhad it. This is NLT. Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. And when you go into this word cold in the Greek, you know, people gonna get psycho, man. It's psycho. As you can see. Let's see if this play. Let's see something. Sucho or psycho. Right? To grow cold. Let me see if we can glean something out of this. Chills, wax cold. Breathe. So people gonna be losing their mind, man. This is the time. You know, you've been warned. Let me get this back over here. Proverbs 29. I'm gonna finish this Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, so this place needs new authority. It needs new authority, and it's coming. It's coming. You're on worn out deceit because of unrighteous dealings. The kingdom is transferred from one people to another. You have destroyed this place. You damn Edomites, you rulers. Look at what Clay just said. You know, like people unhad it with the lies. You wake up every morning, people enjoy just lying here. Well, some people unhad it. And it's going to cause them to clash real soon. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. The people are not rejoicing because Yahushua not in authority yet. But our Lord Yahushua will be in full effect real soon. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. It's not the people mourning. Let me read that at AMP. When the, actually, I want it in GNT. Show me a righteous ruler, and I will show you a happy people. Show me a wicked ruler, and I will show you a miserable people. And the people are miserable because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked for a short time. That's Revelations 20. You was let out to deceive the earth for a short season. Now you Edomite season is over. Good riddance, man. This is how it looks. It's ending, man. So as you can see, I'm all day just watching video after video. People are complaining. People are mad on various levels. There's so much going on. So this is the time to walk with wisdom, Akim. You know, watch what you say on this internet. You know, we definitely got to censor ourselves. Like the apostles say, speak in code, control your emotions. It ain't the time to be just losing it and having a breakdown for something simple. You know, this is the time to put on the spirit, walk in the spirit, keep you cool, because the job is being done. All we got to do is hold on to the faith and pray Yahweh Hashem Yahushua keep us. But this place is crumbling. On his own, the Lord is bringing this place down. There's no, what does the Lord say? Give balm to Babylon if it was possible to help her. Just paraphrasing. There's no help for her. There's no Band-Aid. There's no healing medicine. A Democratic president ain't going to do anything for this place. So we preparing for the major prophecies to hit, and we don't know what the next 24 hours, next 48 hours going to look like. That's why you got to be on point. We going into Monday. What next week going to bring? But we know, hey, we got what? But September, October, November, we got 4 more months of 2025. It's going to be action-packed going into 2026, man. We can be out of here real soon. So don't put stock in this place. Do not put your hope in this place. This is over. Through the spirit of Yahweh and his son Yahushua, they about to take this place over, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Shalom.